Alex drove for many hours. Great mountains rose all around him. He finally saw the sign. It read Havenwood. This was a small town. It seemed hidden from the busy world. It looked very peaceful. Alex felt a sense of calm wash over him. This was the quiet escape he desperately needed. He parked his old, reliable car. The main street of Havenwood was truly quaint. Old, charming shops stood proudly side by side. Bright flowers bloomed in colourful window boxes. The local people smiled warmly. They nodded politely as he walked past them. Alex soon found the Old Mill Inn. This was his guest house for the night. It looked incredibly cosy. It felt very inviting. He was glad he chose this place. He checked into his room. The room itself was simple. It was very clean. It had a window that overlooked a quiet green garden. Evening arrived quickly in the valley. Alex decided to eat at the inn's small restaurant. The food was surprisingly good. The friendly innkeeper shared some stories with him. These were tales of Havenwood's quiet, uneventful past. Nothing seemed unusual here. Later that night, Alex took a walk through the town. Millions of stars filled the dark sky above. A gentle, cool breeze blew through the streets. The air smelled fresh and clean. He felt truly relaxed for the first time in months. He eventually returned to his comfortable room. He fell asleep almost immediately. He dreamt of quiet, peaceful days ahead. Alex woke up suddenly with a distinct start. There was silence. A deep, completely unnatural silence surrounded him. No birds sang their morning songs. No distant cars rumbled by. There was just nothing. He felt a tiny prickle of unease on his skin. Something was very, very wrong. He slowly, cautiously got out of his bed. He walked to the window. He pulled back the heavy curtains. His breath caught sharply in his throat. The pretty garden he saw last night was gone. The street that ran past the inn was gone. Where the town of Havenwood had stood, there was only wild, untamed wilderness. Tall trees, sharp rocks, long, wild grass. The guest house seemed to float alone in a vast emptiness. Panic, cold and sharp, suddenly seized him. He ran quickly out of the guest house. The building stood completely alone. There were no other buildings anywhere, no roads, no people. Havenwood had simply vanished. It was gone, completely. It was as if it had never existed at all. He shouted out. His voice was swallowed by the huge surrounding emptiness. His car, parked right in front, was gone too. His phone showed no signal, just the words, "No service." He was utterly stranded. He was totally alone in a place that shouldn't exist. Or rather, he was where a town had been. Fear, cold and incredibly sharp, gripped his heart tightly. What on earth happened here? How could this be? Alex stumbled weakly back into the guest house. It was the only solid, real thing left in this strange place. His mind raced wildly. Was this all just a terrible dream, a horrifying nightmare? He pinched his arm hard. Pain shot through him. This was real, terribly, frighteningly real. He knew he had to find some answers, any answers. He began to search the guest house. He went from room to room. Tiny dust motes danced in the faint light. Everything inside was just as he had left it. Except, of course, for the entire world outside its walls. In the small, unused attic space, he found an old wooden chest. It was very old. The lock was broken. It creaked open easily. Inside the chest, hidden beneath some moth-eaten blankets, lay a book. It was a diary. Its leather cover was cracked and worn. The pages inside were yellowed with age. He opened it very carefully. Faded, spidery ink spelled out a name on the first page. Eleanor Vance. Then he saw the first date. May 23rd, 1955. Today's date, exactly 70 years ago. His blood ran cold in his veins. He began to read Eleanor's first entry. She described her arrival in Havenwood. She called it a charming town. She mentioned the friendly people. She wrote about it being a peaceful retreat. Her words, her descriptions mirrored his own experience perfectly. It was like reading his own thoughts from the day before. Alex's hands started to shake. He continued to read Eleanor's words. She wrote about waking up one morning. The town was gone. She felt the same shock, the same consuming terror, the same impossible vast emptiness surrounded her. She was all alone, just like he was now. The parallels were terrifying. Eleanor described her desperate, frantic search for answers. Days turned into lonely nights. She found absolutely nothing. No trace of Havenwood remained. No explanation presented itself. There was just the crushing, oppressive silence of the wilderness. She wrote that she felt she was being watched. She started to fear for her own sanity. Her handwriting grew more frantic, more desperate. The final entry in the diary was short. It was chilling. Eleanor mentioned hearing a strange sound, a low, persistent hum. She wrote that she saw a faint, shimmering light. It seemed to pulse slowly in the far distance. She felt an irresistible, powerful pull towards it. "I must go see..." The words stopped right there, mid-sentence, unfinished. Alex slowly closed the old diary. His heart hammered against his ribs. 70 years. Was this some kind of terrible cycle? What truly happened to Eleanor Vance? And now, what was going to happen to him? Then he heard it. A low hum. Very faint at first, but it was growing stronger. He looked towards the distant horizon. A strange, ethereal light began to flicker, beckoning him.